Hello there, everyone. It is Soul Silver 17, and well, I did on this picture, non-paid video. Alright, okay, so here's the thing. I decided to not go back to what I usually just find a picture and then just make the video. No, I'm not going back to that, but I feel like I wanted to, because thumbnails making, it's not bad, it's just, well, can't using the same fonts over and over again. I think it was just time to change of place. Just change it up a little bit. Go back to the old way. The old days of my YouTube. uh, Nostalgia. Anyways. So, yeah. I figured out or should I say, how am I gonna make Asta a vampire? I'm combining some vampire reincarnated into the Black Clover universe, but as him as Asta, but he doesn't have none of his vampire abilities, none of his vampire memories. I'll show you none of his memories. I don't want to say vampire memories, but I mean memories at all. Just pure and human, combined with my idea. But then he gets them all back, but he still has to consume magic, basically through blood. Well, actually, he can consume blood or magic. It doesn't really matter, the point. What matters is, though, I'm figuring an idea. So, yeah. But anyways, that's going to be coming out later today because it's 3:58 in the morning. I don't sleep. That is bad for my health, I know. But I have trouble sleeping, guys, so please understand. Anyways, so you're probably wondering what this is. If you are Yu-Gi-Oh fans, then you guys know who these two are. Monsters, basically Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. And yes, this is my Yu-Gi-Oh what if for Asta. Now, it's gonna be... Okay, so you can say this as much as you want. The Pharaoh gets reincarnated with Yuki the Lemnium... the puzzle. His puzzle, basically, the Lemnia... amulet? Yeah, amulet puzzle? Whatever. I have trouble pronouncing the name. You know how freaking long I have seen the series from the beginning? Even as a kid, I couldn't say the name right. Amulet puzzle, probably. I don't know. Anyways, yes, that's how I think he gets reincarnated. The Pharaoh, Yami. I just call him Yami because it's a lot more easier. Let me actually look at the name. Oh, I okay. To be fair, back for all those seasons, they always call him, Yami Yuki, evil, dark side, whatever. But then you kind of forget that his name is atem. Even I forget sometimes, and I have to double check. I mean, I wasn't too sure when I say it, but anyways, atem. Yeah, atem. Yeah, it just sounds weird. I guess that's why I can't say it. Atem. It's an Egyptian name. I think it's atem. Yeah, atem. I have to watch a video on this now. Sorry, guys. It's just something weird. I don't want to mess it up. Okay, yeah, it's right. I was right. It is atem. Jeez. It did not sound right to me. I had to watch the English dub. I know we're gonna say why, because that's what I was used to when I was a kid. I'm sorry. Alright. So yeah. So someone said about his reincarnation of somebody, and I'm like, I was gonna have the Pharaoh come back. Why, you asking? Reasons later on saying the story. Basically, how's this gonna work? Yu-Gi-Oh cards magic battles, are gonna be two separate things. There are gonna be times where Asta will basically gain, start to do the whole entire Yuki thing. So, like saying Yuki, oh, oh, oh. I'm joking. It's just when the transformation happens. There'll be a glowing light coming off of him, and then all of a sudden, you just see that glowing eye off of Yuki, or should I say Asta, basically will have, and then just commence the fight in dual monster form. That basically it's old versions of past enemies coming back. So like Evil Merrick, basically the one who was possessing. Oh man, Bakura. Yeah, the one that was possessing Bakura. They will come back. A lot of them, like freaking, like even freaking Bandit Keith, along with maybe Pegasus. Pegasus though as someone else. Like reincarnations. Like a lot of people. Heck, even maybe in Yuki. Like all the whole entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, villains plus characters may have a comeback in this what if. Why, you may ask? Because I just think it'll be fun to have Yuki and Tem fight each other again for a battle of dual monsters. Or just a magic. Depending on who he is, if I make him. I'll let you guys decide on that. Who would mostly fit for Yuki's personality to be, well, And I don't know what's the ship gonna be. I was thinking of Noelle, but I can think of someone else. So yeah, anyways, enough of me rambling on. Let's get on to this. Alright, so, how it starts off. Well, we are in the spirit realm of Atem's palace. The pharaoh sits on a throne. And it just looks as Egypt. And he just says, it's been many years since I've seen the outside world, the living world. I wonder how Yuki, Taya, Tristan, Joey doing. I hope they're doing fine. It's been about maybe 200 years since I saw Kaiba. Wait. 20 days, maybe? I mean, time flows different in the spirit realm, so 200 years for them could be like 20 years for them, basically. That's how it's flowing in the spirit realm. 200 years past, it's only 20. You just add on another 0. So yeah, anyways. So, well, while Atem is walking to his, how can I say, his room, basically to look at some important documents, all of a sudden, something happens. A glowing light appears as, well, he sees 3 cards floating in front of him. He was like, what? The Egyptian gods? Which, well, Obelisk the Tormentor says, Pharaoh, the Shadow Games have returned. Which, Atem's like, impossible! How? Cypher would then say, in a different dimension, people reincarnated there with their memories of the Shadow Games. I just can see it's a snake, so it sounds like a snake to me in my head. I'm sorry. As then, the Winged Dragon Ra basically go. I don't think it could be he or she, basically godlike figure. You can make any voice. But it's like, yes, and they're causing a problem in the other dimension. This may sound idiotic and stupid, but it is true. Let us show you. As well, a light comes off of the winged dragon Ra, which is fire and shoots out into a wall. That then turns into a circle, showing basically dual monsters happening to people with books glowing as they shoot elemental attacks at it. But the monster does not get destroyed, and it attacks the people, and well, they get sent to the shadow realm. As atem goes, just thinking, how is that even possible? But those innocents, gods, how do I go to this world? As the flaming circle is disappearing, Obelisk would then say, you have to go back into the puzzle. But he says, but it was... I know. As they do have a combination of energy, collide with each other and form the puzzle. He goes, the amulet puzzle? He goes, yes. Your soul needs to go back into it. And then we'll be able to transport you to a different world. Or, well, actually a different dimension. I know that doesn't make no sense. Okay, I know I'm breaking from the story, but here's the thing. There's a lot of things in Yu-Gi-Oh! That doesn't make no sense. Like, legit. Like, it has happened when they got teleported into a freaking board game. Okay? They got teleported into a board game. Some people go to the past, see the Pharaoh's memories and such. It's just a lot of the freaking first couple seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! Before GX happened was really freaking weird and crazy. But hey, that's what I liked about it. So we're going with we're going with that style too of the old Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. So yeah. But anyways. Oh, by the way, if you guys are wondering, will he have Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards? I mean, I already mentioned that he would. But I have my own Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I'm not gonna make... I can make a deck for this, but I can always change and add on things, because I'm having this... whatever, you'll find out later. But anyways, so the Pharaoh would say, but what about my friends, my family? Do I tell them? They not. I mean, basically, Slifer would go, yes, tell them. Tell them the Shadow Games have returned into another dimension, and you'll have to stop this. We are sorry, Pharaoh. But you need to go there. You are the only one. And he nods. So he called his advisors, his guards, the people, and he explained to everyone about what was happening. The gods have showed him what has been happening in another dimension. The Shadow Games have returned, and he must go there. Atem's best friend, who technically is the Dark Magician girl, does protest this, and his teacher, who is her teacher, who's the Dark Magician, who's also Atem's friend, agrees to it, which Atem chuckles, and he goes, "You always were a trustworthy friend. Always give me the right advice." And he does say, "Well, it doesn't matter, Atem. It doesn't matter, Pharaoh. The Shadow Games are happening, and only you can stop them again." He does not. So, the God cards appear, but in God form now. But, full size, basically everyone's bowing down to them, as the, amulet puzzle is still floating in front of him now, and he does ask, will the pieces be scattered? Which Rod does answer, yes, they will. But the child who will, reassemble them, will be different from Yuki. Understand this, Atem. You have to deal with it. But he is very kind, very brave, and in a world with no magic. You went to once, but in this dimension, you are going into a world with magic. We have learned what the world has, and we'll give you knowledge of it. As basically, all Alyssa does put his finger out and touches Atem's forehead, giving him the knowledge of that world. And he saw the boy who will basically revive him into that world. So yeah, but anyways, he says, "Alright then, let us begin." As he touches the amulet puzzle, his soul gets sucked into him back inside, and the basically the whole entire gods do tell him, and which Atem can still hear them, saying, "As soon as this is done, we will bring him back. But know this, we are giving him a few abilities, even to the boy. We will guide him and help him. We will return one day. Wait for us." As they disappear with the amulet puzzle. So after that, Atem seeing what's happened. Well, seeing through the puzzle that they're going through a void, black, nothingness, and then into a world of light. Basically, they're going to an area where Asta's going to be training most of his time. What's that going to be? Oh, the dead corpse of the demon. Okay, hold on. Alright, everyone, sorry about that. I'm in my dad's room right now, because I'm petting my dog, because my dog sleeps with my dad. You know how some animals like to be. But anyways. So, what happens is, because of them going into this area where the demon just bones are, the pieces of the puzzle do get shattered by them, and they say, "We will wait for him to revive you, Pharaoh," and such. So, after that, everything goes to canon for Asta. He's at Hodge Village. He's with the father. Everything happens the same. But the key difference is this. He doesn't fall in love with Sister Lily. He sees her as more of a, how can I say this? Basically, a big sister. That's all. So, basically, Asta's just training one day into the Forbidden Zone. That's all I can really say much. And they're at the age where he is, they're about to go to the whole entire, my dog's being weird. But it's adorable weird. Why is she? Wow, she's so weird. Anyways, basically, they're at the age where they're about to get the whole entire grimoires. That's the word. Sorry, like I did say, it was 3 a.m. when I remembered. Now it's 4. So, yeah. But anyways. He basically, while he's training, he's saying like 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Basically, it's just push-ups. So, basically because of this, Asta knows how long he's been training until a shine, from, the sun setting hits something glowing that gets into his eyes. He was like, "What the?" As he stops doing his push-ups at 116, 1,016. I think I said. And whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just know it's, yeah, it's probably 1,000 by now, because they're at that age when they're going to get near to get their grimoires. So yeah. Anyways. So, because of this, Asta will go over to what was hidden him, hidden his eyes, and then he finds something square with a, like, something to, like, with a hole that has something go into it. It's like, what the? As, well, because of him, like, moving it around, like, wondering what it is, the shine of it hits multiple different, like, bank shots, basically the light bank shots off of the party's holding, because it would have moss and stuff on it, but there was a little bit of gold still showing, as then it goes ahead in our piece. And so Asta will see it and, well, follow it. I mean, he'll pick it up and he's like, okay, are these more of these pieces? Alright, then it's time to find out. The traditional Asta yelling and, then going to look. So, Asta does go. He does go look around and see. And he finds all of them, but it's the middle of the night, and it was raining. As he goes, okay, it took me a long time to find them, but let's see if I can put this thing together, whatever it is. As most of the pieces did have moss, but not on the inside, so he starts putting it together. It does take quite a while, at least another 2 hours or so, until he gets the final piece like Yuki did, and, well, puts it basically into place. As then, well, the whole entire sequence of the Pharaoh being summoned, well, basically becoming a part of him happens, aka being summoned. As then the Egyptian god cards appear, but in a more traditional form of chibi form. They turn into chibis in this one. They can't always be good cards. So, I'm gonna say, though, they've appeared not in card form, but, I mean, they could appear in card form, and also turn into miniature-sized versions of themselves. That should be really weird if Asta had it. So, okay, so basically, Slifer is the two-headed snake, or two-mouthed snake. Basically, Ra is just a bird, a golden bird. And Alva's a tormentor, could be a little bit of a ghost. I don't know, just wanted to be funny. Also, it was an idea of somebody, I mean, not somebody, it was an idea of a friend I had. Well, they had, not I had. It's an idea of a friend that said it would work if I want, if I think it'll work, and it does actually, so I'm putting it in. But anyways, as atem is like, Slifer, Raw, Obelisk? He's like, yeah, the ghost says yes. It's like, oh, right then. That's his new. He's like, different world, different meaning. We can still turn a card form if you want. But this way is way more simpler for the boy. And Tim does nod, and he does have a few memories of Asta. So, like, coming a part of him, or should I say, understanding. But, he said he'll go back into the mine, or should I say, the puzzle, and see what he'll find out from Asta. They do nod, and then Ra says, let the boy have control. So they activate the form, and Asta gets back, but for some reason now he has purple streaks in his hair a little bit. So Asta's like, wait, what's going on? What happened? I remember putting the puzzle, but now I'm standing? By the way, I forgot to mention he was sitting when he was doing this. And then he just sees these 3 floating creatures in front of him. He's like, oh, what the hell? Wait, are you magical creatures? Or... As then the bird talks and goes like, yes and no. Which Asta's like, huh? Okay, talking bird. And then he just sees the ghost. He's like, what are you, little guy? He goes like, kid, I'm not... Oh, never mind, I am little, but trust me, you don't want to mock me for my size. As then the ghost just like hits him and Asta does fall back on his butt, holding his head in pain. But then Slifer just kind of like slithers over to him in the air. You're like, I'm sorry for my companions, but allow us to explain. And, well, he gets the whole entire rundown what's happening in the world. Which he goes like, okay, so let me get this straight. This moss golden puzzle had a spirit inside of him that fused with me because of a thing happening called the Shadow Games, and I need to help or let him possess my body, I guess, but mostly help him out. The gods just be like, you don't always have to call him. You can do it too. He's like, okay. Which, they do tell him to get back to his home. It is late, and he does not, so... They do, actually. Just like... They help him get over to the... Well, back to Hodge Village. I mean, he did ask some stories. They told about ancient Egyptians, but they're like around the outskirts of the whole entire like forest. And they basically, Arag was like, "Oh wait, we forgot to give you some abilities." He's like, "Huh?" Basically, all it says you can say they're blessings or magic. Basically, abilities because of well. Actually, they really would be blessings of a god. I was like, okay. As then... Hold on. Everyone, I'm back in my room. Alright, so basically... Austin was like, so what are these abilities, magic, blessings you're giving me? Sorry, new to this thing. And they all say it's fine. Trust us, this is not the first, but it has been a couple of thousands of years since they get blessings. Which is like, okay. So, what happens is this. Obelisk says, alright, my blessing to you is, well, me, I am mostly about all strength and power. But I'm allowed to give a few blessings that are different, so you're all fit and trained. So I think a more of a agility sense to help you with your magic. Well, training. To get into this magic knights will help out. So, as when basically with his little ghost hand touches Asta, Asta feels a lot more lighter. His muscle mass has shrink down a little bit. He's like, what the? It was like, your muscles are condensed down. So, you're welcome. You look, well, I mean, they're shrunk down a little, but basically, you still have the same muscle mass. He's like, okay. And then Ra says, well, you ever heard of Egypt? He's like, no. Good. Anyways, my blessing is that Egypt's sand will follow you on your path wherever you go. So, basically, it's a good for defense and offense. Even creating something like, well, we'll tell you about, well, a image we can show you with the sand. Which she's like, okay. So basically, when, Ra kind of flies up to Asta, just gently pecks his head. Asta can see the ground somewhat have sand, which Ra does say, it's basically automatic. It'll only have a little bit, but the ground will go back to normal for anyone else. Which Asta goes like, okay, that's good. And then he looks at, Slifer. Slifer just says, oh, simple. Cards. He's like, cards? You're gonna need a deck. So, how about this? As then all of a sudden he kind of just like shoots a little, by making a little beam of light shooting up into the sky. As all of a sudden, multiple different cards go flying around in different areas. Which, the other two gods just look at Slifer and he goes like, what? I thought it'd be fun. Jeez. I mean, that's not a blessing, but that's something I could have done. A blessing though. Oh, the knowledge of dueling. As in basically all of a sudden all the knowledge of the dueling world. Even GX, synchros, blinks, fusions, pendulums. Yes, it has gone to that far. It has gone that far, everyone. They have gone up to pendulums. Which Asta's like, oh my god, that's a lot of information to take in. He was like, uh-huh. Now then, get some rest and start searching tomorrow. Which he goes, right. So when Asta returns, to the place, everyone was shocked to see these little creatures on Asta's shoulder. That was basically the father's Asta, what are those? He's like, my friends / magic summoning creatures? Which he's like, huh? I trained so much. You could say that I lost track of time, and then, I found these guys, how can I say this, kind of, just in a little area scared, so I was with them for a couple of hours, and got caught in the rain and such, and, well, everyone was kind of, shocked about this, but Asta has no magic creatures go probably to, someone else. I mean, some of the kids thought they would go to the father did too, but hey, they're staying with Asta. So, this happens. Then, Asta the next day goes look for some cards. I'm not gonna say what they are. I have a deck made. So, you guys can, see. But anyways, I just want to know, I do have a deck made. I'm just not gonna tell you guys about it. Actually, no, wait. I have many decks made. I'm just not gonna tell you which they are. So yeah. And yes, I'm gonna be playing it like an actual duel game for me. So I will have to basically be looking through my cards for the dueling part. But yeah. Actually, I'll be having to look through the whole entire freaking decks for Merrick and other characters. But anyways. Does that mean all these other, villains have the same stuff, Yami, Atem and Asta? Yes, they do. And now, basically, Yami has all the information of the dueling world now, which he's like, Nani? This is all taken. So, yes. He's gonna have make new strategy now to this. And none of his freaking BS from the anime can work. Yes. So, Am I gonna try and make it like the enemy in the fights, the card battles? Yes, I will. I would try. But anyways, so just note that actually, so yeah, so just note this. What the cards what you'll be hearing, or will probably from, if I can't find the decks. Actually, it will be probably from the decks, but if I can't find them, then it'll be from my app on my phone or my cards that I have in real life. Because I play Duel Links. Yeah, I've been going back to that for a bit and just trying to do whatever. Just having fun playing. Sorry, itching my leg. Anyways. Yeah, so I also go search for the cards. They were scattered pretty well, but they were only like a good 40. So I still was thankful for that. And he was surprised by the cards he got. Some of them were pretty good. I mean, some of them are common, a few of them are rare, some of them are ultra rare, and super/ultra rare. And some of them even had like foils and basically you could say they're alive. Also has some basically OP cards. But, you know, I'm not gonna say yet though. So yeah, because of this, I have to basically ask, can I hold them with my, sand? If I can control it? In which the gods just look at him, be like, yes, for now at least. It's like, okay, so they do, like tell him how to control it, and he just thinks of it, and they even tell him about the card holder, and it goes around his leg, and then he just puts it into the holder and such, and it feels natural to him. Oh, whoa, 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 no, no, no. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So yeah. So after this happens, he does go back. He trains for a little bit more, and then the day the whole entire thing happens, again the grimoire, same thing happens. Asta is really not that disappointing because he is gonna have to go travel around now and actually fight people that have dual monsters. Dual monsters, so it's better off if he doesn't get a grimoire. But he does get upset though. He wanted to become the Wizard King, which, he was disappointed. But the gods, you could say, could be jerks in this one. No, they were upset for him. They want to grant him this, but they can't grant him a magic ability since he doesn't have any. So what will happen in canon happens. He almost gave up, and then the grimoire appears. So he does get the magical sword. And that happens, like in camp with the chain mage. And, well, and, doesn't know about Yami, or should I say atem. But, anyways, before we do something, I have to just go look for something real quick. Okay, everyone, here's the thing. I do not have specifically the monsters for certain, decks for people. I know Kaiba usually would go for a dragon ones. I do have dragon dragon for dragon decks. So just know this, alright? So, basically, just let you know that, okay? But just to let you know, this is going to have them being like, okay, so, they're gonna have different cards, because I don't have, the cards that, the actual characters will have. Okay? Please understand that. And I'll be very thankful. Alright? I'm not trying to be rude or mean, I'm just, asking. If you're a hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh fan who basically has watched anime multiple times and said, oh, this character will not have it because it's in a different time period, just know. They didn't come, they all did not come back with the same cards. They would have like more, cards that they'd be given or they would have to find. I know I made Asta did it, so why not make them do it too? I mean, yeah. No, I kind of just revealed something I was having planned, and I feel disappointed, but it's just trying to prove a point. Okay, so, here's the thing. I have basically actually I have like 3 or 4, cards, binders you could say, holders. Basically I'll be going with what I think Kaiba will be using if I, bring him in, just as an example. One of the cards he would have is basically the Melody of Awakened Dragon. Alright. So that's just something I can see him having. Okay. That's a spell card. I'll also be telling you what type of card it is. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. So after, Asta defeats the guy, the chain mage, be like, Asta, you got your grimoire, and he goes like, I know, right? Thanks. I don't know how, but I got one. Which, well, he would be happy for Asta, but then all of a sudden they hear clapping, and basically Asta look over, and for some reason Asta get this weird vibe from this guy, like he's seen him before, and basically the guy looks exactly like Kaiba. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. So he was like, "Who are you?" Asta asked, which suddenly the change in actions in Asta is quite surprising towards because he's never seemed so different. Which he hasn't gone into Yuki mode yet. Yami, aka atem mode. Which, well, the guy would just say, well, who knew I'd find you here, Pharaoh? Which, yeah, he's learned the whole entire necklace thing. That the chain did appear. I forgot to mention that. My apologies. I knew I was forgetting something. Yeah, but the necklace appeared as soon as, well, not necklace. The chain appeared right around, to go right around his neck. So that is there. Alright? That is there. And he could tell he thinks this is the Pharaoh right now. And, well, basically, Asta goes, who are you? Serious mode. He was like, the name is Set of Kaiba. I don't know how I had gone to this, different area, but for some weird reason, you're here too. Having traveled around, this desolate place for a long time, but it's glad I could see someone I know. And now I can have a rematch with you. In which the gods tell him to, they would have mentioned to him about that person inside of him to take over. And so he does do the whole entire saying, Yuki, because I have heard in the English dub that one time, if I remember correctly, Yuki did say Yuki-Yo, and then he was transforming, but that was only done maybe once or twice in the original series, and yeah, so basically, if you can just see it, the Millennia Puzzle just starts moving and then glowing, then all of a sudden light appears, and then basically Asta's hair gets a little longer. Takes the appearance of what he looks like if he gets older, and so the purple streaks in his hair, couple streaks in his hair now, and he goes, Kaiba, I didn't know you'll be here, but I'm glad. Because Pharaoh, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting to have a rematch with you for such a long time. I heard a fatal battle that I lost to you, basically, if you guys don't know this, I have found this out that basically Kaiba lost to the Pharaoh, even in the afterlife. Like, he trained so much, went through so much troubles, just to lose to the Pharaoh again in the afterlife. I gave him commitment points, but like, really, Kaiba? Really? Like, why? Just why? Was he obsessed with that winning so much? So, yeah. Anyways, you guys are just hearing me flipping through some because I'm also kind of working on my cards. I have a deck already made that I played with, and someone I know hates me for playing this card, for playing certain cards in this deck I have. It is basically a freaking pain in the butt, but I love it. It's funny. It's hilarious how he hates me when I play this card, when I play this deck. And this is the deck I mostly use, so I'm mostly what I'm used to. So please understand that I am going to be doing that. You know, using it. So, but anyways, I also will probably change some cards up from what it actually is into it. But yeah. But anyways, so what happens is or should I say, Atem says, "My apologies, Kaiba, but I don't know how to do this no more, and I don't think I'm able to create one." As Kaiba says, "No matter, I, I basically was able to find one so easily that you can too." Which he was like, "Wait, you can find one?" He was like, "Yes, but it's a little different. It's what he shows as. It looks exactly the same way as in, Dual Battle City Tournament. But imagine it also has a little bit of a, well, Arc V, or basically, how can I say this? I'm trying to think of the other one. Basically, it's like a futuristic dual disc too. Okay, the movie, with the cubes and stuff at the Pharaoh Returns. Yeah, that one, that movie. Yeah, where Kaiba has a earpiece around his head too and such, and it's all holographic imaging for the cards. Yeah, it's that. It's that Kaiba has. I was, you know, well, I mean not Yami. Atem is shocked. As also in the, well, Slifer, Ra, and Obelisk float over to, like, the book is floating in the air now for some reason. As in, they just touch it, as basically anti-magic coming off of it, going into Asta's arm, and appears like in the old-fashioned like Pharaoh card, like Pharaoh disc, but mixed with Battle City Tournament and the futuristic discs, futuristic dual disc, which he was like, interesting, thank you. He looks at the gods basically, and they say no problem, but he also says, because he could sense also something in there, it was like, "And thanks to you too, whoever you are," which, well, the anti-magic devil is shocked that he's able to sense it. So basically, Kaiba says, "Alright then, you have cards?" As he does pull out a set of cards. Or should I say, not. He basically pulls out a deck, basically. Okay, so there are some cards I have from Kaiba. Basically, this mostly was like a Kaiba deck, like XYZ cannon. XYZ Dragon Buster cannons, you can say. So yeah, so my apologies to you guys if you guys like it. And I do have one guide card in here it would make sense, but I do have two blue eyes white dragons. So let's get into this. So basically, as all of a sudden, two little, you could say, pieces shoot out of the dual disc as they form. As then each one put their decks into the deck holder and the dual disc, and they say, "Let's duel." And what happens is that says, "What the?" And he goes, "Whatever you do, just watch." All right. He goes, "Asta, what do you mean?" He was like, "Trust me." So basically, Kaiba says, "Since it's been so long since we battled, how about I let you take the first move, Pharaoh?" He's like, "Thank you, Kaiba." So, basically, I'm just gonna draw my my 5 cards. Five. Alright, so I draw my 5 cards. What should I say? Attempt it. And he looks at them. He's thinking of a plan of what he can do. But at the moment, he cannot. He can only think of basically a defense. Basically, the good offense is a good defense. So, what he does is this. He summons out a Luster Dragon in attack mode. And then he basically puts 1 card face down. Alright? Which, well, Kaiba's pretty impressed. So, he knows his deck has a few new tricks up his sleeve. Because he did find over the years cards that were not from what he's used to. So, to be fair, he has some old and new cards, as Tem would understand. So, basically, what basically Kaiba does say he would prefer to have summon this on the first turn, but what Kaiba summons is basically, what should I say? I really want to just say face down. Yeah. Yeah, Kaiba will just place a card face down. And then, well, he decides to play. He decides to place another card face down too. And then he says he'll end his turn. So, Atem, draws another card. And, well, he can't do nothing yet. I mean, he does put, can't really do nothing. So he decides to put a card face down and attack his face down card with Luster Dragon, which he says like this. He tells Kaiba, I draw a card. He draws his card and says, "I put 1 card face down and I'll attack with Luster Dragon down on your face down card." Basically, Kaiba decides, not since Luster Dragon has 1900 attack points. By the way, they have 800. I mean, not 800, 8,000. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, they'll have 8,000, attack. I mean, life points. As it is revealed that what Tem just attacked was basically giant soldier of stone. Which, well, if you take down 1,000 out of 2, 1,000. I mean, not 1,000. If you take 8,000, minus God math again. Okay, so 2,000 defense. He only takes 100. So it's basically 7,980. No, 790. 7,990. Yeah. And it gets sent to the graveyard. So, basically, well, he goes through his hand on a second phase, and, well, he cannot do nothing else. So, Kaiba draws a card. He basically had a monster card, and, well, he summons out. He basically tributes. Hold on. Yeah, he tributes the giant soldier of stone, to basically summon out the tricky, which then he basically used to attack. Well, his face to Atem's card, and then it's basically the Pent of Dark Clown. Okay, I know I can't really go through all this because of it would take too long, because that's how Yu-Gi-Oh battles are going to be like. That's why they had like 4,000 life points. And well, he ends his turn then, because he wants to see how well. Since this is, I mean, Kaiba would be mocking him if he was. It is the same game like it was, in their world, but it's a lot more different, like a lot more. So then, basically, he draws a card. So what happens is this: Atem summons out basically wide dragon head, but then activates front base. This card allows him then to say, once per turn, you can special summon one level 4 lower monster union monster at level 1. I mean, no, summon one level 4 lower union monster from your hand, and then Atem basically brings out, well, the heavy mech support armor. Sorry, just trying to read something. So then, basically, yeah, he summons out. That card goes. But then he says, and because his, Petty the Dark Clown was activated, his effect goes, so then he basically summons out another Petty Dark Clown, but in defense position. So, let's just say this. Yeah. Basically, because of basically has one monster on the field, he then activates. Well, basically he summons. I mean, not summons. He activates the card Megamorphous. So, basically, what this card does, I believe it will work this way. So, while your life points is lower than your opponent's, the equipped monster attack becomes double the original attack, while your opponent is higher. The equipped monster attack becomes half the original. It's a two-way streak, I know, but yeah, he basically does that, and he equips it to his, heavy dragon. And, well, I guess you can say that then, basically he uses heavy machine support armor to then equip over to wide dragon head. If I'm correct, then this would work. Yeah. So that's what happens. He equipped it to White Dragon Cannon, and then he will attack the Tricky, and he takes his take damage, and so on and so forth. Card after card, what happened? Gets destroyed. Anime duel happens. Summon. So yeah, so basically, what's on the field now is this. What's on the field that atem has is basically, if I had more time, because I want this not to be so long, it basically has the XYZ Dragon Cannon. Since that doesn't need a fusion, it just can link up with each other. He has that in his deck. I mean, not his deck, on the field. They are at about, each Kaiba has about 1,700. Well, Yami actually atem has 2,900 or 29,000 attack points. So what happens is this. Basically, what he has in his hand, he has basically, he has basically Rain Destruction, Blue as White Dragon, Negative Attack, and I am searching for them. I was drawing them, but that is this would be too long. So yeah, Call the Haunted. The Ring Define, along with then his drawn card, Union Hanger. So what is then he does is he basically since he has basically he has on the field, though I forgot to mention, even Keeper of the Shrine. He says he will sacrifice basically Keeper of the Shrine to then summon out, because it can use S2 to summon out then Blue Eyes White Dragon. He says it ain't done yet. So then he basically uses Union Hanger to then, if you guys don't want to then bring out something, because it says when this card is activated, you can add one light machine type Union monster from your deck to your hand once per turn. If a light machine type Union monster is normal or special summon to your field, except during the damage step, you can target one of these monsters. Equip one of these monsters. Equip one appropriate light machine type Union monster wall with a different name from the deck that is the monster, but the Union monster, blah blah blah. Basically, it just allows him to basically bring out one Union monster to his hand. So he does bring out a Union monster. He brings out Union monster C Cruise Wire in defense position. But then he puts down basically his Rain of Defense and, Rain of Destruction. Which, you wanna know what Kaiba says right when he brought out, Blue Eyes White Dragon? You stole my card, Pharaoh. He was like, I did not steal it, I found it. They just have that one fight. But he's also impressed that he was able to, bring out it. So yeah. So basically, what does Kaiba do? Well, he does his normal Kaiba way. He basically summons out 3 monsters onto the field. And since he doesn't have the God card, he then like attributed 2 of them to be, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Another monster. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Because one of them was 2. But then he basically activates 2 of his spell cards in his hand. Actually, yeah. 2 of his spell cards from his hand that brings back a monster. Actually, wait, I think it'll be 2, then... Yeah, then he actually gonna call the Haunted. Or leave on this turn. Or it would be on... Yeah. I guess he would just have 2 Silent Dooms. I'd rather have repeats, so... Yeah. He would bring out 2 Silent Dooms, and then to bring back the 2 monsters he used to summon. And then, boom. Has Blue Eyes White Dragon, use a Polymerization, Ultimate Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then he says, "Ha! You fell for my trap, Kaiba!" He was like, "What?" And by the way, those were the only 2 cards he had in his hand. Plot convenience? Yes. So, he activates, basically, Rain Destruction. Which he goes, "You idiot!" I mean, he basically doesn't call it, he does call the Pharaoh idiot, basically, a time. You're just gonna take yourself out and I'll win the game. Oh, by the way, this is not a shadow game. Kaiba just came back in because of, reincarnation, and because the dual monsters coming back, he would have found them. So, yeah. Just when I forgot to mention all this, but, yeah. He is a part of the shadow games, but just right now, no, not really. And then basically he goes, "I know, Kaiba. That's why I'm attaching, the Ring of Defense to your monster. Well, I'm not Ring of Defense, Ring of Destruction to your monster. And then activate Ring of Defense." And Kaiba was like, "What?" And he was like, "If I remember correctly, this is one specific move you did one time, Kaiba." He's like, falling for my own move, basically. And, basically that wins the match. And, Kaiba goes like, "Well played, Pharaoh. Well played. But next time, I won't lose." And then he walks away. Everything disappears. Everything goes back to normal. And, as asking questions. As the creatures go over to, says, "Quiet. We'll explain everything later." And, Asta turns back to normal. So, what happens is, after the whole entire, them getting back to basically the church, it does, Asta does explain everything along with the gods about it. Everyone's kind of shocked. And even, he was like, what the, how? How is this possible? Just how? Why was he chosen? He was like, they just tell him they need someone with no magic. Which, everyone's shocked by that. And they also said he also can summon us without a dual disc. Which he was like, "Wait, really?" He was like, "Yes, you can. We just didn't want to tell you. But now since you got the first taste of a duel, you know what to do." And he does nod to them. So yeah, so basically after that, the whole entire training thing will happen, swordsmanship, and then going over to the whole entire Magic Night thing. And I'll say that for next time. I hope you guys have a nice day and night wherever you are. Halloween special coming out later today. So yeah, bye everyone.